I don't think we talk about it very often on here, but the closest basketball team located to me is the Sacramento Kings. So I've naturally just been a fan of them, I guess. I grew up near them and now I live near them. And so that's, if I want to go to a basketball game, the home team game that I would go to. And so basically, I go to a Kings game when I want to see the visiting team. Because the Kings, I don't know if you've followed basketball, but they basically haven't given you a reason to show up in the past, carry the one, maybe like 2, 3 decades. So if you're going to go to a game, it's not really for the home team. And so I've even been to a lot of games where the game devolves into the crowd rooting for the away team, the opposition, they're calling it. It's not a great environment in there. And especially now, because the team, they've been kind of a, I don't even want to call it rebuilding phase, because they don't have the pieces to make a castle. It's a house of cards and they're using blocks. How's that going to work? But I go to Kings games quite often, I feel. I try to. I really like going to them with my friends. And I went to one last week and I was on the freeway trying to get there. And I was just by myself in my car, so I wasn't in the carpool lane. But I was in the leftmost lane that wasn't the carpool lane. And I look in my side mirror and I see these big, bright, flashing lights. It's red. And I was like, man, this Christmas festivities thing is getting a little out of hand. They're even putting decorations on the freeway. But no, it was an ambulance. It was an ambulance followed by a fire truck. And I saw it pretty immediately. There was a car in front of them that was a little low or a little slow to get the message. I guess they have dial-up internet. Because something wasn't clicking. There wasn't a great connection up there. And so this ambulance and fire truck zoomed past me, right? And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a fire truck or ambulance use their lights on a freeway. It's always like, the streets, just not the freeway, but the normal streets where you see fire trucks and whatnot, and everyone pulls off to the right. Never on the freeway. I was like, oh, I guess it makes sense. The carpool lane, that's not going to be where the traffic is, so they would, of course, use that lane. So they zoom past me. But then, following closely behind them, like, what is that little fish that attaches like sharks and whales? It's like, is it called a pilot fish? What is it called? But those little fish, right? They attach there so they can get any of the droppings of food that the shark and or whale kind of doesn't catch on the way down, right? They're like the apron of the sea. You think about it that way? The whales and sharks, right? They might get crumbs everywhere, but because those little fish attach themselves to them, there's no crumbs. They look like they're doing a great job, even though they're just a menace at the dinner table. And so this car that was following them, it felt like one of those little fish. And I was like, oh, that's funny. This person's like using that to cut through all the traffic. And I was like, oh, I wonder who this would come in handy for. Like, who would really get the most use out of this? Because this person, they're probably just getting home from work, and so they're trying to, catch the game on TV. And so, there's not that much urgency. The game will go on. Their viewership isn't really going to stop that from happening. It's not going to influence the game at all. But I wonder who, if they were able to, tail these cars, who would have the greatest maximum influence, right? And naturally, I went to Amazon drivers. Because recently I heard that Amazon drivers, they have to do something crazy. It's why you always see them like stop at the driveway and then they like quickly run out. They don't even have shoes on for some reason. They forgot them. They're trying to move so fast. And they just throw something, on your front step and they take a picture like as they're running away. They're like, it's like a game of a scavenger hunt you would play at work where you're trying to, get a $25 gift card to Chipotle. But it's not like everyone on your team gets one. It's for the team, and you kind of have to like go as a group or just decide, well, who needs this most, right? Yeah, they have kids, but they were kind of mean to me last week. I'm not going to vote for them in the anonymous voting. The problem is your hatred runs deep, and so in the anonymous voting, you sign it for some reason. Your ego, your hubris, it gets the most of you. And you say fuck them in a corporate professional setting, and you say, I don't want you to get the $25 Chipotle gift card. So, but Amazon drivers, they got to be quick. That's why they sometimes just dump the package and then they leave. Me in the bathroom, dump the package and leave. I don't loiter. I don't stick around and be like, yo, who did that? Yours truly. And they're like, that's not, you got to leave, man. You do this a lot of times a week. I'm not going to put a number on it because I want to save your self-esteem. So I'm not going to like enumerate the shame that should be brought upon you, but you got to leave, man. We're in the process of getting like a restraining order But in the meantime, just please, can you not be here and do what you do in the bathroom? I'm like, I do what I do in any bathroom. They're like, yes, well, don't do it in ours. Okay, man. But these Amazon drivers, it's a real cutthroat thing. People talk about it all the time on social media. In the factory, right, it's bad. But I would argue that the drivers have it worse because they have to, zoom through all these streets, all these highways, and they got to deliver what? Oh, meet their delivery quota for the day. What, 29 packages? So they got to do that and get home. And from what I've heard, they're not given enough time for the number of packages they need to deliver. So I bet that this ambulance, this fire truck that's zooming through the highway, I was like, oh, an Amazon delivery driver would probably be salivating, just chomping at the bit, right? Because they'd be like, that's my golden ticket. I can go home and see my kids. Oh my God, this is great. If I just tail them, then I can get my deliveries done. All packages will be delivered to where they need to go. Yeah. Don't know how Santa does it, but I'm the next closest thing. It's a real 1A, 1B situation. We're right up with the best of them, I would say. But it got me thinking, I feel like this would play on an Amazon driver's psyche, right? Their moral compass. Because what if, right, they're behind on deliveries and then they see, a bunch of traffic and they're like, damn, you know what I could use right now? A fire truck. An emergency. I need someone to call for help so that one of those takes the road and I can be right behind them. I can ride on their coattails. But basically what that's saying is they're hoping for a tragedy. They want a cat to get stuck in a tree. They want someone to choke on their food. They want someone's house to catch on fire just so they can deliver a couple more packages. And I wonder who's to blame there. Is it Amazon, right? They're probably not that nice to them. Or is it the driver? Because now they've dipped over into this moral gray area. And once you go over there, you can't just go back. That becomes your way of life. And so I wonder, do they have to deal with that? Is that part of the... Amazon's like, no, that's one of the perks. You get a new mindset, a new view on life, but it's really a destructive one. And it's going to make you look at all the relationships you have in life in a much more somber tone. Because Amazon, they're not going to care, right? They don't even care like why you were late. You could even, because I feel like in a normal job, you could show up late and then, the manager would be like, why are you late? What's going on here? And he'd be like, oh, well, there was an accident in traffic. Everyone was held up. And they'd be like, oh, okay. Out of your hands, out of your control. I'm so sorry. I'm glad that you weren't the car that was pulled over to the side of the road causing all that traffic. I'm glad you're here safe, bud. You can have that report to me in the PM. Okay, just EOD. I know he said noon, but I'll give you a little more time. Whereas Amazon, I feel like if you didn't meet your delivery quota, you show up at the warehouse, they're like, what the fuck are you doing? You're like, well, but there's an accident totally out of my control. They'd be like, oh, okay. Well, here, how about this? Because this job is so stressful, we're going to give you some time off. And be like, oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, I would love some time off. They're like, yeah, that's great. So yeah, effective immediately, you're going to get a lot of time off. And then you hear your van in the background, beep, beep. You're like, well, oh, hey, that's my van. Are they taking it away? Oh, is it because it's going to be an extended vacation? Are they putting my van in the warehouse? Oh, no, we didn't. Sorry, buddy. We didn't say vacation. We said time off. You won't be with us anymore. Oh, okay. Yeah, that truck over there, that's out on another delivery. We've already replaced you. Oh my God. Don't want to be an inconvenience. Really hate that. My parents, my family, my kids, everyone, they're saying I'm kind of been that in life recently. So I would hate to be one here, but I have a sandwich in that car. There's a lunch in that car. And again, I could go hungry. I don't even care. I don't have to eat. We get 3 meals a day. Who cares if I skip one? It's still 66% of the meals I want to be able to eat that day. Maybe I'll just have a snack. That's cool. I like snacking. But it's a tuna fish sandwich, and I know that shit's going to stink up. So that's not... It would be in everyone's best interest if you pulled that van back around. I could snag the sandwich, gank the sandwich real quick. I think everyone would be happier. It's a net positive, really. And by the time you're even saying this, that van has already hit 3 houses. But they accidentally grabbed your tuna fish sandwich and threw it at someone's front door because they thought it was a package they had to deliver. Because they're under so much stress. Because they want to be like you. No job, no sandwich. I would say it's a fishy situation, but you'd be sans fish at that point, without fish. So yeah, I wonder, do Amazon delivery drivers, have they turned to the dark side? Not because of their own behest, right? It's just the circumstantial, turn to the dark side. That's kind of like what Darth Vader did, right? They used Padme against him. They're like, you want to save her. You have to do this. He's like, I'll do whatever you want. And so I wonder, do Amazon drivers have the same dilemma as Darth Vader, where it's like, hey, if you want a job, you have to speed. You have to put elementary school crossing guards in danger everywhere you go. That school zone miles per hour thing, that doesn't apply to you. That's a suggestion. That's just an obstacle. Ignore it. Your eyes should be on the road, not on the signs, okay? And so it's really a tragedy. People always say that. The story of Star Wars is the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker, really. And I feel like Amazon deliveries, it's really the story of the tragedy of those workers. So think about that next time. You overnight some gag gift for your friend's birthday, huh? Yeah, think about that next time. You overnight some shirt that they can't wear out in public because it says a slur on it. Yeah. Think about that. That's going to sit in their closet for a while until they get married. And then, they're cleaning their closet. And then their partner's like, what is this? And you're like, that's from a different time in my life. Well, it's not even my life. My friend, I remember that guy at that party that I told you about that I don't fuck with. He got me that. So it's not even, that shouldn't be there. Yeah, but it is here. Why do you keep it? Valid question. I have to say, credit where credit's due. I don't know why I kept it, but I feel like I would keep a gag gift, some terrible shirt, because it feels bad to throw out cloth, right? A cotton t-shirt, because you're like, well, in theory, this can be clothing for someone, right? You could look up in the news every day and see people that are struggling to have like clean clothes or just clothes in general. And then you look at your shirt that says something unsavory on it and you're like, well, that could cover a person's body, so I shouldn't get rid of it. And then, you get in hot water and you're in the doghouse. You got to sleep on the couch. Because you have a shirt that says an early 2010 slur on it that edgy people on the internet still use, but you know better. Last week, I told you that if we got less likes than the week before, I would go on a 10-minute spiel rant about the importance of likes and how my stock is so important. Last week, did we do it? Did we get more than 18 likes? We did not. We got 12 likes. And so you might be like, uh-oh, buckle up, but let me put the seatbelt on. Here comes this rant. I'm not going to do it, though. Because we also got more likes. I think we got like 6 likes. And so it balances out. Comments. Oh, sorry, we got comments. Did I just say likes? We got 6 comments. So comments plus likes, I feel like comments hold more weight. So we really did actually exceed our goal. And I want to say congratulations, folks. But I need you to hit it this week. Now, you might be wondering, why, Gauruv? Well, it's my birthday this week. My birthday is this Friday, December 19th. I turn the prime ripe age of 27. I know, I'm spry with all my years under me. You should count how many, what is it called? Circles are on my wood. Well, actually, you shouldn't say stuff like that on the internet to an audience that is anonymous to you, because then you get in real hot water. Then, I'm on the couch. I'm in the doghouse. Strike 2 on my record, huh? But I'm going to need you to give likes, because people always wonder, right? When it's your birthday, like I said, they get you gag gifts. They're like, I'm going to get you something you're never going to use. I always tell people, don't do that, right? I've been really bad about getting gifts my entire life, but I think I'm better now, because I'm like, don't get me something that's fucking useless, that's going to just sit in a closet, and then I'm going to have to like feel bad about throwing away in 7 years. Get me something useful. Now, what's useful, Garb? Well, it's simple. Your support on my online content. Just press like. That's all I ask. And then, people are like, well, I don't do that during the year. I'm like, exactly. You don't give me shitty gifts during the year either. So make it special and just fucking press like. How about that? Huh? No, but I really just support is all I ask. And people's time. People, they fucking spend money. They're like, oh yeah, here, I got you a shitty gift that's like $60. And then I'm like, well, let's go out and do something. They're like, well, I'm kind of not doing great financially. I'm like, yeah, because you fucking bought this piece of shit. Do you have the receipt? Can we return this and turn this night away? Right? Turn it around. About face this shitty evening? Because what do you mean? You got me a gag. What is it? What do you call it? A toaster? You got me a toaster that puts Darth Vader's face on it. It burns Darth Vader's face into the toast. You know how stupid that is? because you're burning toast intentionally. And I know, oh, what's the fucking tagline? Well, the toast, bing, and then it says, welcome to the dark side. And it's like, oh, that's funny because it's burnt, but my toast is burnt. Don't burn my toast, spend time with me. How about that? Enough with the gag gifts, right? Time and money, those are two most valuable assets in a person's life from what I've heard. So fucking save your money. Give me your time. Let's hang out. How about that? That's another problem I've learned as people are getting in relationships, married as they get older. Their time is so valuable. You're like, oh, you free this day? Oh, no, me and the partner of mine, we're going to a dinner full of like 8 people none of us like, but we've now gone into I've told this joke before, but you get into like a a rhythm where you just keep renewing the dinner, the monthly dinner you do with, it's like a 4-way date with couples. And it's just like one couple doesn't want to be there, one couple wants to be there a little too much, one couple is kind of indifferent, and then the other couple is like, when is this going to turn into an orgy? How long are we going to do this until the 4 couples, the 8 of us, are fucking in someone's living room? I'm the guy that keeps asking about everyone's couches. I'm just trying to see who has the most space, huh? Does anyone have like a movie theater in their home? Because when are we going to keep fucking? I can only talk about hors d'oeuvres for so long and how, everybody's kids are doing. When are we going to turn our vanilla suburban lives into some hardcore fucking? So that's the thing. Your friends get so caught up in going to dinners that kind of have that you don't get to hang out anymore. And it's like, no, just fucking say no to one of those, right? Cut them off. Just finally, right? Someone should do that. Invent an app. You know how people make those apps where it like manages all your subscriptions, and you're like, oh, I didn't know I was paying for Duolingo for that long. I took that Mexico trip 4 years ago. I didn't realize I was still paying for it, which is crazy. I don't even need it because yo hablo español muy bueno. So I don't even know why I'm paying for that. They should make one of those apps, but it manages your social commitments, because there's a lot of social commitments you should stop partaking in. It should ask you, do you still want to go to dinner with that couple? And then you have to face that and be like, I don't know. I've talked about this at work with people where it's like, I think it's smart actually to make, I don't know what you do at work, but like we use Outlook, Microsoft Outlook, for like our calendar and email. And so that's where we schedule our meetings. And I've always thought it was a good idea to make your meeting, if you're going to make it like a series, like a recurring thing, just kind of make it expire at the end of the year. Because some people, they make a series and it lasts like the next 3 years. But I think if you make it, ideally it should be every quarter. But I think you should set meeting series just to be for the year, so that every year you have to consider, like, do I even need this? Because some people just be going to shit because it's on their calendar. But you should always be thinking, no, I don't need to go to that. I'm not even on that team anymore. I'm just on the invite, so I feel like I have to show up. You know how you get the invite in your personal life to go to people's parties and you say, I don't know, I'd rather not do that. Do that at work. Think about, do I need to be there? How close am I to the meeting organizer? Would it be okay if I didn't go? Because then I could spend time doing something useful. That same reasoning you use for that mutual friend's birthday party where you just kind of got the invite because it's like you guys have a mutual. Use that same logic at work. I think it would really improve your workflow. You want to be a 10x engineer? Don't read any of those books. Just listen to my podcast and don't go to meetings. This should be the only mandatory meeting you go to every week. I truly think. So I think there should be a social app. Same way. Hey, you dog sit for that person every week. Do you think you should still do that? And you're like, that's a good point. Should I still do that? And then you start to realize, oh my God, their dog's been dead for 5 years. Why do I even go over there? And it's like, oh, right, I steal their snacks. Google, keep that one on my calendar, actually. Google's like, are you sure? Yeah, it saves me from having to actually go from the grocery store. And Google's like, wow, that's so smart. I'll add that to our online database and we'll tell other people to do that. It's like, no, don't learn that. That's one of those ones that AI should not pick up on, because it's like kind of giving away, on a GPS, there's probably like back roads and stuff. And only you know about it. But if you start to go down it so much, your GPS learns it. And it's like, oh, wow, this is actually a viable route. I'll upload it to the database. And then other people learn it. And then now you got a traffic jam in your back alley shortcut. That's like a subplot in one of the last season of Curbs episodes. Larry tells one of his dates a secret, which is like, oh, he takes this shortcut, and then like the next day, she was like, I won't tell anyone, and then the next day it's like packed, and he's like, she fucking told. I knew it. I knew I shouldn't have said that. It was too vulnerable of me. Shouldn't have said it. So yeah, reconsider your friends. How about that? No, yeah, no, your friends should have to earn their spot. You know, T-Mobile or whatever the fuck, you know, old phones used to have like a top 5. We need to bring that back. We need people to earn their spot. There's too much, right? Social media and calendars. There's too many spots for people. You have like what, top 20 friends? You have to like tend to all of them. Brother, I have one plant in my kitchen and I have to replace it every 2 months because it dies. I can't keep up with 20 friends. Are you kidding me? And you'd be like, well, that's natural, Gar. Flowers don't even last that long. It's a bamboo. It's supposed to last like 5 years. I'm kidding. I don't want you to get the idea that I can't keep plants alive. I do have, what do you call it? A succulent, and I keep it alive. I don't know why, but my mind thought of succubus first, which is like a demon, right? Speaking of demon, you might think, oh, God, where's your fucking Christmas attire this week? I thought you were in festive mood. Well, I got it. It's a Christmas shirt. Can't you see? Garv, how's that a Christmas shirt? Well, this is a collab. Nike SB? Well, I don't know who they're collabing with, but it's a drop. They released a Nike Dunk Low Krampus edition, and it came with some merch. I didn't get the shoe, but I got one of the shirts, and this is like the logo they use on all their branding. So this is like a Krampus shirt, so it is a Christmas shirt. So suck that. How about that? 6-7. How do we feel about it? Is it still trending? I think it's going to make its way into the new year, but it's going to peter out really fast. I say by Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Was his birthday his day, or was that what is his day in January mark? Is that his birthday? By MLK Day, I think 6-7 will be gone. But I think it's kind of dying out right now, but I think it's going to have a resurgence into the new year because, you know, those people that get drunk around the New York ball drop, they're all going to be doing it. They're going to be like, all right, folks, we only have 6 to 7 minutes left until the ball drops. And then everyone's going to go, whoa! But no, I think 6-7 is on the way out. But I think the true mark of it being gone will be its integration into the baseball scene. You see, there's something called the 7-inning stretch. I think the first time, maybe it's already been done, but I think the first time a Major League Baseball stadium introduces the 6-7 inning stretch, I think 6-7 will be over. I think that, even if it lives on a little bit beyond that, I think that will be the true mark of its death. You know, people say that thing, people die twice in their lives. Once when they stop pursuing what they're passionate about, and once when they stop breathing, or whatever, you know? I think 6-7 will truly die when a MLB stadium is like, oh, time for the 6-7 inning stretch. And then on the fucking Jumbotron thing, it's not people stretching or, you know, singing the buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. It's just going to be people going like that. And then everyone's going to be going crazy for it. I think that's when it'll be a salus, friend. It was nice knowing you while we had you. I wonder if bowlers have to fight the same one arm is stronger allegations. You know, people always make that joke where it's like, oh, they see someone online, and one of their arms is like kind of visibly stronger. People are like, oh, you're a gooner. You jack off a lot, right? But I thought about it. I'm like, don't bowl. There was this girl, I think she goes to Vanderbilt, and for some reason her Instagram came up on my Instagram like Explore page, and I was just enamored by her page because she goes, I think it's Vanderbilt, and she's like a bowler. I didn't know, but apparently, yeah, they have a bowling team at some colleges, Vanderbilt included. And I watched all of them, and she has this whole routine, and it's just mesmerizing. And it got me thinking, wow, she's putting so much time into this, but she's only really working this one arm, her right arm. And I was like, oh, one arm is probably getting way stronger than the other. I know they probably do some conditioning so that they can get strong overall, because you have to have like a steady base and all that. But I was like, naturally, one arm has to be bigger, right? And so do bowlers have to fight the same allegations where they're like, why is one of your arms bigger? And it's like, oh, because I'm on my college's bowling team. And they're like, what was that? One more time, louder. And then they get so embarrassed they're on a bowling team that they're like, no, I just jack off a lot. How about that? Imagine being, I think bowling is cool. And I don't even say that unironically. Ironically, sorry. But I don't say that ironically. I do think bowling is cool. I think it's cool to like be committed to that, like to have your own shoes, have your own bag. I think bowling bags, fantastic. The shirts they wear, incredible. I like the aesthetic of bowling. It's kind of like drugs. I don't do drugs. I don't really bowl. But the aesthetic around them is so cool. The merch they're coming out with, how chill they are. Oh my God. It's something you just kind of do, in your pastime. People do it casually, leisurely. It's kind of a recreational thing. I think it's so cool. I just don't partake. Do you know what I'm saying? Bowling is a gateway drug to like pickleball, probably. And you don't want to go there because that pickleball is the heroin of sports. And that's why so many older people are getting into it because they're like, well, I'm already nearing the end. You've heard that, right? People are like, I'm going to wait till I get really old to do hard drugs because they're like, if it's going to take me, well, I've already lived my life. And I think pickleball is the same way. It's like, well, I've already made it through my life. If this is going to end my shit, well, at least I've already lived a good life, right? But I do wonder, yeah, if there's some bowlers that are like not too proud of their sport and then they're like, no, I don't do that. And you're like, well, what do you do? Because there's only one other thing you do to get a big arm like that. And you're like, and then they say it because, yeah, they're embarrassed by bowling. But I think that's kind of the message, the reason I started this episode, the reason I started this podcast. I'm here to push the narrative that bowlers, you can come out. Come on, we accept you for who you are. It's enough. You've been living in the shadows for so long. It's your time. Be proud, okay? June is for you too. It's not in the flag anywhere yet, but we'll get you in there, okay? I've heard a lot of people in the comments, they've been saying that they're taking or preparing for finals, and I want to say good luck, or, hope it went well if you've already finished. If you are listening to this podcast when you should be studying, well, I think that's a better use of your time. So I think you're probably like, oh no, now I'm 30 minutes behind, right? That's about the length, the duration of one of these episodes. But I say, hey, no, rip it. Get another one pulled up, huh? Yeah, pull me up on your screen, huh? Why is one of your arms stronger than the other one? Yeah, I know you watch my videos a lot. Why is one of your arms stronger, huh? It doesn't seem like you have time to watch other stuff, so why is that happening? But no, if you're listening to this is all the preparation you need. Because this articulate, oh my God, meeting of the minds, this is really, people are calling it. I don't try to read reviews on the podcast, but people are really calling this the marketplace of ideas. And I think if you just tap into here once a week, like you've been doing, you're going to do great on your test, okay? And if you're already taking a test and you felt bad about it, you probably didn't do well. But hey, it's over now, so now you don't have to worry about it. There's a nice release in failing because now you're like, well, it's already happened. It's decided. Failure is kind of, it's an emotional ointment of sorts because now you can't fail. You've already done it. But no, you probably did fine. The natural IQ of people listening to podcasts, it's pretty up there. I know that because it's a filter that you can apply on YouTube now. They have that child filter where it's like, oh, you can only let people 18 or older watch your videos, so they have to like sign in to watch them. I actually have an IQ filter on mine where it's like, oh, if you don't have the right IQ, you can't watch the videos. And you're like, Garv, I've never seen that. Well, look at that. And that's why you can watch this, is because, yeah, you passed the test. I'm not going to say the actual joke, but there was that joke growing up. You see that clown that hides from dumb people? And people are like, what? No, I haven't seen that. They're like, oh, you must be dumb. There was a different version of it. But like I said, if you like that version, you probably, purposefully kept that shirt with slurs on it, didn't you? Yeah. And you're going to wear it in some Halloween party in the future. And you're going to claim it's vintage. No, it's really campy because it has a slur on it. I promise. But Christmas is coming up. Next week's episode will be the Christmas week episode. Isn't that exciting? So I got some songs for you. You got Oh Christmas Tree by Teddy Swims off of his 2021 Christmas album, A Very Teddy Christmas. And then Let It Snow by Tori Kelly and Babyface. And also Sleigh Ride by Tori Kelly. Both songs off of her 2021 Christmas album, A Tori Kelly Christmas. What is going on? In 2021, why were people just making Christmas albums called A Me Christmas? I don't know. It just was a coincidence when I compiled these songs. I'm like, oh, they each made like Christmas albums. I wonder what they're called. And they're called A Very Teddy Christmas and A Tori Kelly Christmas. And I'm like, what the fuck was going on? Like, who was pushing this a very blank Christmas agenda? Because you got me. Tie me up and throw the key away, because I'm in there like swimwear. And I know you're in that like button just as deep. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. As the year comes to an end and we reflect on what we're thankful for, I know I am thankful for the people who listen and watch this podcast. So once again, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will talk to you next week. Okay.